tonight on Size Eyes on the Skies.
Over the past couple of days, everyone we've seen pretty hot temperatures starting on Sunday, going into yesterday and today. We take a look outside in the morning and evening and see very clear conditions for a nice warm night. Although this could change in the future, I'll have that and more coming up on your hour forecast.
Plus, AJ has a look at your national forecast. Size Eyes on the Skies for Tuesday, September 28th starts now.
Live from Studio 171 in Ames, Iowa, the Iowa State Meteorology Department team of meteorologists brings you the latest weather from around the country and out your front door. Iowa State's longest running television program and the only live weather broadcast on campus starts right now. This is Size Eyes on the Skies.
Good evening. I'm your host, Avery Andersen. We begin with tonight's weather story. On this date in 1986, a tornado touched down in northeast Polk County and grew into a ferocious F4 as it plowed into Jasper County. Nearly 40 homes were damaged, 7 of which were completely leveled. An estimated $2 million in damage was caused by the twister. Additionally, a farm building was demolished by Primgar, Iowa as a result of strong thunderstorm winds. A tornado near Everly, Iowa damaged several buildings, including a farmhouse, a garage storage building, a cement brick silo, a number of grain bins. Furthermore, tree limbs were downed and the football scoreboard and baseball dugout were destroyed in Mapleton, Iowa as a result of the storms that passed through Iowa 35 years ago today. To discuss more on what's happening around the country, here's Luke with our national forecast.
Good evening, everyone. As we take a look around the nation, we're going to be looking at some hot temperatures in the Midwest and some pretty active weather in the Atlantic Basin with some tropical weather brewing. It'll also be rainy in the south and the west, and I'll have more coming up.
Back. Now, here's AJ with a look at what's happening around the nation.
Good evening, everybody. As we take a look at what's happening across the country tonight, we'll start here in the south. We've got some pretty unsettled weather going on. Pretty nice fall weather as we go up into the northeast. And then as we head out across the Midwest, we've got a high pressure that's causing a pretty good heat wave across the area. Some more unsettled weather down to Texas. And then we've got some cooler, rainier weather out across the west and up into the northwest. And as we take a look out into the tropics in the Atlantic Basin, we've got Hurricane Sam churning out here in the central Atlantic. It's not going to pose any threat to the mainland U.S. as it's going to eventually turn and curve up to the north and no longer be a problem for us. But we might want to take a look at some of these tropical waves that are coming off the coast of Africa down here, as they stand a pretty good chance of developing, and we'll have to monitor their track over the next couple days as they progress towards the U.S., potentially. As we look back closer to home, we've got some fire weather warnings up in the northern U.S., and we've got some air quality alerts as we get into the Wyoming area. We've got some more fire weather alerts as we look out towards the west, and some unsettled surf and high surf and rip current threats as we look out off the west coast. As we look at temperatures across the nation, pretty seasonable in the southeast, temperatures in the upper 70s. Cooler weather up into the northeast, and then a pretty good heat wave building, like I mentioned earlier, as we go across the heart of the country and in the middle of the country. Much cooler in the west, though, as we get fall-like air and some nice cooler weather up into the west and northwest. As we take a look a little closer in and we take a look at the Midwest, pretty hot, 85 in Des Moines. We've got a hot spot up here in Bismarck. A little cooler as we get into Minneapolis and Green Bay, though. And as we take a look up into the northeast, as I mentioned, much cooler weather, much more fall-like. As we look up into Canada and Montreal, it's 52. Warm spot down in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., 78 degrees. And then as we take a look into the southeast, like I said, much more seasonable air, about what you'd expect for this time of year, upper 70s, lower 80s across the board. A little warmer down in Tampa, up into the mid-80s. And then as we take a look out west, much cooler than it has been. 57 up in Elko, 91 down in Phoenix. They're the warm spot. And in general, much cooler weather than what we're experiencing out here in the Midwest. Up into the Northwest, again, like I said, much cooler weather, very unsettled out here. A good bit of rain and precipitation going on. 51 Missoula, 83 is the warm spot, or 88 is the warm spot out in Rapid City, my bad. And as we take a look at what's going on over the next couple days, it'll continue to be pretty unsettled across the south. And we'll have a low pressure spreading some precipitation across the western U.S. And as we look ahead, it'll start to spread a little further to the east and start to push into the Midwest, where it's been pretty hot and dry, so it'll give us some much needed rain chances. And we'll have some more rain and unsettled weather up here in the Northwest as we progress through the rest of the week, towards the end of the week. And as we take a look at the week ahead in the city of Houston, Texas, don't mind the mistype there with Detroit, Michigan, we'll have pretty unsettled stormy weather as we get through most of the week. Storms pretty much every day, so you'll have to take your umbrellas to work with you, keep an eye out for that. And then as we get towards the beginning of next week, we'll look for potentially some clearing at last.
Thank you, AJ, for that forecast. Now, let's take a look at tonight's trivia question. Tonight's trivia question is, so far in 2021, how many severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued for Ames? Is it A, none, B, 1, C, 4, or D, 5? We'll have your answer coming up right after this. Now, let's have a look at the week ahead with Danny.
Thank you, Avery. As we take a look at outside over Memorial Union, take a look at some of the current conditions. So we have here 85 degrees in Ames, still pretty warm for this time of year, especially at this time around 6:30, 6:45 hour. We have winds out of the southeast at about 8 miles an hour, which is bringing some of that warm air up and making temperatures a little warmer than usual. Feels like 84, so maybe a bit below the 85, but still pretty warm. And we have our dew points there at 57, so kind of dry, but not very comfortable as we sit outside. And the pressure right now, 29.86 inches of mercury. I'll have that and more coming up for your Iowa weather. Welcome back, everyone. I'm meteorologist in training, Danny Cassidy. If we take a look at the temperatures outside right now in the state of Iowa, we've got mid to upper 80s across the western part of the state. If you look towards the eastern side, we've got upper 70s to lower 80s, 76 here in Dubuque, 80 in Davenport, 82 here in Burlington, and then 83 here in Otwema. If we look now at the dew points, we see relatively drier dew points, but a little bit on the muggy side. Take a look, mid to upper 50s to low 60s here in the southeastern portion of the state. Look here in Davenport, got mid to upper 50s here on the eastern side. And so we're kind of on that range of getting into the muggier side as we progress throughout the week. Right now, the feels like temperature, so it feels a bit cooler than what is the temperature outside. But as we progress throughout the week, it might get a little more uncomfortable, especially as we get towards the weekend. So the wind speeds right now, again, we have those wind speeds coming out of the south. Let's bring some of that warmer air from the southeast. Right now, blowing out anywhere from about 6 to about 10 miles an hour there in Des Moines. Right now, currently 6 miles per hour for Ames. And those will look to pick up as we go into the night hours. So taking a look overnight, so this is at around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. A little bit calm start to the day as per usual, but we do have kind of a bit of a gust there, in Council Bluffs at 10 miles an hour. Then if we take a look into the heart of the day at about 4:30, so again, those winds kind of shifting more to the south, and we get 12 miles per hour here in Ames, 13 in Fort Dodge, a little bit slower in the eastern portion of the state. This isn't totally eclipsed by that front moving through yet, but we will anticipate winds picking up as we progress throughout the day. And then in the night hours, again, dropping down to those calmer wind speeds across the state. So we take a look at satellite and radar right now. Again, nothing really out there. We've needed rain for a majority of the year, and unfortunately, we're just not getting it. As you can see here, there's just clear skies and no rain whatsoever. So if you take a look at the drought monitor, we are in severe conditions here in Ames. As you look at the orange here up top, especially here too in Cedar Rapids and a little bit here in Davenport. So if we take a look towards the rest of the week, we might be getting some of that rain that we need for our drought. So we take a look at Futurecast here. So this is about 8:30 tomorrow, so we do have some cloud cover. No rain in the forecast quite yet. So if we progress throughout the day, this is 5 o'clock hour tomorrow. So you can see kind of this rain shower over here in Omaha area as that front starts to move a little bit east, bringing some rain showers into the western portion of the state. So this is now 7:30 a.m. on Thursday. Again, we see kind of these light rain showers kind of move into Spencer, northwestern Iowa.
And if we take a look into the overnight, Thursday into Friday, we get this long band of rain showers in the western portion of the state. Again, still missing the Ames and eastern Iowa area, but some of this will continue to move east as we head into Saturday. So taking a look ahead at tomorrow at the Mediagram, so we've got a forecasted high of 89, much higher than the seasonal high of 72 on average. We start off with 61 in the morning and gets out to the mid-upper 80s around the 2 o'clock hour. So forecasted lows overnight, so we've got here 58 in Ames, 61 here in Des Moines, 54 in Dubuque, 56 in Davenport, 54 in Decorah, so lower to mid-50s in the northeast portion. And then if we look out west, Sioux City 62, Council Bluffs 64, so a little bit on the milder side. Tomorrow for forecast highs, it's going to be hot. We have 88 here in Ames, 87 in Des Moines, and we look on the eastern side, hitting 90 in Davenport, 89 in Burlington. So watch out for those folks, drink lots of water, and put on sunscreen if you need it. So taking a look a week ahead of here in Ames, so we got 89 tomorrow. Again, a little bit of a rain chance on Thursday, about a 45% chance on Friday. Again, that Ames Dome is very famous, so who knows if we'll get anything, but take a look for that. And if we head for the rest of the week, dropping down to much cooler and much seasonal temperatures as we head to the start of next week.
Thank you, Danny, for that forecast. Now, let's review tonight's trivia question. So far in 2021, how many severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued for Ames? Is it A, 0, B, 1, C, 4, or D, 5? What do you guys think?
Well, I got to say, I haven't been here most of the summer, so I would have missed out on the severe season for Ames. But I have not remembered there being very many severe storms in the area from when I was here.
Yeah, I'm same with you, AJ. I was in Minnesota most of the time, and I know there hasn't been a lot of severe storms, so I'm going to go with 0. I'm going bold.
Well, I do know that we've been in a drought for a while, but the answer may surprise you, but it's actually B. Only one severe thunderstorm warning was issued for Ames in 2021. The drought, it's got to count for something. It makes it hard to issue warnings like that if you aren't getting any weather to begin with, you know?
I know, and especially it's been tough for storm chasers because I know they've wanted to chase some storms. No luck there for those fellas.
I've been out with my friends a couple times and haven't had much luck. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes tonight's show. Please be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. You can find every show on YouTube under our Size Eyes channel. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later. Have a good night, everyone.